Hi everybody, my name is Cindy Reichardt. I am a Texas broker. This is an MC class for 15 hours. Everybody knows, I'm sorry, 3 hours. Everybody knows it's 3 hours, not 15. I've had people say, I thought it was 30 hours. It's a half a day. No, it's 3 hours. So you get credit for 3 hours. It's a fun course. It's a course that you just need to sit back, listen to. You don't even have to take notes, because when you get through, the reason why I use a PowerPoint is because you'll remember more if I show you a PowerPoint than if I stood up here for 3 hours and talked. So you will enjoy it. And I have to tell you that a little bit of my background is been a realtor for 25 years, built 4 offices from scratch, which is why I want to share what I have learned with you. All successful offices, sold them all, sold a marketing company, worked for John Doherty Realtors for 7 years as their manager, and now I am broker at Texas Select Properties, which is all the marketing material that I'm about to show you today. And the reason is because I just started Texas Select Properties back up. I've had it for 14 years, but I'm really putting everything that I'm about to tell you into this, and it's become very successful already, and I want to show you how to do that, because you're always starting over in this business, aren't you? Every ups and downs, we're always starting over, but this is a little bit different market because it's a competitive market. And I've had a lot of people stop and call me and say, Cindy, all of a sudden I'm out of inventory. I got to start over. I don't know what to do. So this is where we're going to start today with you. It always starts with you. I can't go on a listing presentation with you. I can teach you everything I know, but you've got to take it and go with it. And these are the basics, and they never get old. So what I've done is I've created a PowerPoint that you may want parts of, and certainly call me and I can give you parts of, especially the business plan that we're going to go over in a minute. But first, let's talk about you. When you're creating a business from scratch, you have to create an image. Everybody has to have an image. Realtors are terrible about creating their image. We're independent contractors. Everybody knows that. We are all small business owners. Did you know that? We are all small business owners. So we need to start thinking like a business owner, not as just a realtor, but a business owner. And we need to start telling the world that we are in business and that we're open for business. So that's what the position that a lot of the realtors are in right now, because they have stopped marketing themselves. They stopped telling people what they do for a living, and now all of a sudden they're out of inventory and nobody knows who they are. So let's talk about the consumer. Those are our clients and customers. So the consumer, the very first thing that they see, you are introduced to them. Come on in. They will remember you. That very first image is what they will remember. So you need to brand yourself wisely. And you say, brand? Well, I work for so-and-so. You may work for so-and-so, but so-and-so doesn't go face-to-face on the listing with you. They don't get in the car with you. They are just there. You're the business. And it begins with your business card. And I can go into classes, and I've been in classes for years, and the first thing I ask, I said, show me your business card. Do you know half the class, and it can be 50 people in here, they will not have brought their business card. Isn't that interesting? But here are the rules to the business cards, and that's where it all begins, because that's what you leave with a consumer. So I begin with things that you don't do, okay? And these are things that you don't do. You don't do caricatures or cartoons or anything, and I see some people going, ooh. This is the things that we don't want. In our industry, we're not cartoons. We are professionals. This is a profession that's very, very important. We're holding their most valuable asset in our hands. So don't do caricatures. That's not a good impression. Let's stay on course. Now, if you are someone that likes to identify yourself with a hobby you may have, that's not exactly the right course to stay on. So this one weirds me out. I mean, totally weirds me out. He's playing on his name, which is fine if you want to do that, but don't do that. If you have a hobby, that's fine. Keep it a hobby. It's not what your profession is. I don't know what this guy's doing with the saxophone. There is nothing about real estate in these cards, and those are the business cards that they use to do business with. So I'm just bringing this point out to you so that you can be aware that don't be cute. Let's be business and professional. I mainly talk to the ladies here. The guys, you can listen. This is cute, sexy, and that always backfires, especially if you're very, very young and you're getting into the business, you're 20-something and you want to get into our profession. You're going to have a long road because you've got a lot to prove. So don't be cute on your business card, for sure. That'll come back to haunt you. Now this lady sells waterfront properties. She's in a bathing suit on her business card. I can't make this up. I got these totally off of the websites. Now there's better ways to do it. Suggestive poses are not very professional. These are for boyfriends and husbands, whatever. Suggestive poses are out. And then what you wear matters. So if you want to be looked at as a professional, let's wear professional conservative clothes. Now ladies, I want you to look at this team. Would you hire this team? I don't think so. Guy said, yeah, I'd hire them.
It's like a character in a TV show or something.
Yeah, Mike says, I'll hire him. No, this is not somebody I would leave my husband with. So how many does it take to sign up a listing? How many signatures does it take? It takes a husband and a wife. So let's be careful here. Here's where I rub some people wrong with pets in the picture. Pets are wonderful, but they outshine you. They will outshine you every time. So let's don't put our pets in the picture because I don't know what you're selling here. If I looked at this card right now, I'd say best friend in real estate. I get what she's trying to say. It's just not the right. I won't remember that she sells real estate. I'll remember she sells pets. And down here is just some, I don't know what. So there are times that you can use something that's in your sphere of influence. For instance, my husband is a cutter, which is a cowboy that cuts cows and competes and things like that. He takes these into his competitions. The cowboys will take this and they will write their notes on this. So he calls them cow notes. He has all his information on the back. This is fine if you're doing it for something like that, a promotion or something that is they can relate to. But that's the only time I would let him put his horse on anything, okay? Because he's going to an event with horses. So sometimes it works. Now, let's go back to our young professional, our 20-something-year-old. I don't just leave you with what not to do. Now I'm going to tell you what to do on the opposite end of this. So here is our 20-something-year-old. Doesn't she look much better? I would feel so much more comfortable with her if she were professional. Here is design. I want you to look at design. Design on a card is pretty dramatic. It's pretty awesome. So let's make it work for you. Sherry's got a great background there. The colors work for her. And she's in a pose that I would remember. I like the way she's sitting. Here's our waterfront property expert. Now, I feel much better with this gentleman. He's elegant. He's high-end. He looks high-end. He's not in a bathing suit, which makes me feel much better. Now I love this one. If you're going to play on your name, or you want some kind of that impact that someone will remember, the I is obviously where he's standing. I will remember this card. I like the blue, it's masculine, and I like the way he's standing. Gentlemen, with your hand in your pocket always helps. Now, here's a team that I would like to do business with. I wouldn't mind either one of these guys. This is a good team picture for a double team. This is a multiple team. So there are things that you can do to get your point across the way you want to. Come on in. So think about this when you're designing your card. If you need a designer, call me. The gentleman that designs for all of my material is more than happy to help you if you're just now starting out. Yes?
Can you help me not look too sexy?
Oh, I don't know if that's possible. I've known Walter forever. Oh, you are sexy, Walter. Your business card is the first impression. Okay, so we've established that. So hand it out to everybody. Everybody needs to get your business card because that's what they'll take with them. Try not to do odd-sized business cards. Do the regular size business cards. You can do it vertical or horizontal, doesn't matter, but just don't do it cute in a little square or big or something like that. Something they can put in their wallet. Now let's talk about your photograph. Here you go, Walter. I'm going to try. Your photograph is terribly important. Now there's some people that don't want their photograph on their card, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm telling you, Facebook was popular for some reason. People like to see what you look like. And so on your photograph, I'm going to tell you the best way to do this, and it is not from a camera phone. Okay, so we don't take our picture with a camera phone. It tells a story of you. Your photograph tells a story. I will see your photograph, immediately know what kind of vertical you're in. Are you in farm and ranch? Are you in high-end condos, high-rises? What do you work with? So let's just look at some of these. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. I only tell one story. I worked for I've had many agents in my 24 years that I've trained. And there were a couple of ladies in my 24 years that had been in the business forever. And you know who you know the kind. And they would never change their picture. And I can tell you that in my companies, we did marketing every day. Every single month, we sent something out to the neighborhoods, which got the phone to ring. So I had two ladies that would never change their picture, ever. And can you imagine this going out every single month in the neighborhoods? And when they finally got a listing, they look like that.
She has the same problem.
Now this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but not too much, because these two ladies never changed their pictures in 40 years. You have to take your picture. Now here's a good example. You may know Ann. This is just an example. Okay, this is a real agent, but an example. Don't say anything. This is a card that went out every single month, and I'm going to use another lady as an example of what she would have looked like had she gotten the listing. Now, the owner thinks she's coming up looking like this. This is what I expect when I hire you. I haven't seen you. I've just called you on the phone and say, I need you to come over. I'd like to get an evaluation on my house. So when she walks up, that listing presentation is at 4 o'clock. You know the deal. The listing presentation call is at 4 o'clock. You want to be there at 7 o'clock. You don't have time to do anything. And then she looks like this. She's very, very different than her picture looks, right? And I'm making a big deal about this because this is a deal killer. This can kill your deal when you walk in. That means I can't trust you to look like what you show me you look like, so how can I trust you with anything else? Okay? It might be a little thing, but sellers think this way. Now, let's look at some neat photographs. This is a team. You may know them. Nicole and her mom. This is a classy team. Then we've got some good poses here. All of these are Houston Realtors, guys. So you've got Manuel here, you've got Ann, you've got Raul, you've got the mother-daughter team. Aren't they classy? Do you like them? Instantly, do you like them? You think you'd do business with them? You don't know them from Adam. That is your first impression. Now this guy, who happens to be my husband too, but he sells farm and ranch. Did you know that? Probably. It probably tells you he sells farm and ranch. That's okay. That's what he does. Now, we're talking about a camera phone. This is not where we take our picture. We take our picture with a professional photographer. You go, you make an appointment, and he will spend or she will spend probably an hour, hour and a half with you, maybe 2 hours with you. You'll take a couple of different jackets with you. They will do about 35 different shots for you. And right now, in today's technology, they will show you the pictures right then and there. And they will fix them, ladies. They will fix your flaws. So right then and there, you can pick the one picture out of that 35. And the way you pick that one picture is you look at them over and over again. And the one that you keep going back to is the one you pick. There's always one that you say, you know, I like that. I keep liking that. That's the one you pick. Okay? And he will fix it up for you. Okay. Now, capturing the professionalism in a person is what they do. So you can't have your husband or wife take your picture for you. Won't work. Now here's some good shots of these were my two agents, and you probably know these two guys. They're top professionals in Memorial area. What do you notice about them first? I want your first impression of these guys. Do you like them? Do you think they're professional? They show confidence? What else do you see? Their smile? That's what I want you to notice first. I want your eyes to go directly to their face, not what they're wearing, although they're wearing something that doesn't take your eye away from their face. For instance, they don't have big earrings on. The ladies don't have big earrings. The guys don't have just out there ties, okay, or a Hawaiian shirt on, or anything like this to take your eyes away from their face. There's not a phone in the ear. How many realtor pictures do you see with them using a phone as one of their photo ops? We all know we use phones. There's no pets in the pictures. There's no goofy gimmicks. The focus is on you, and that's where it should be. Are there any questions on this? Pictures? Okay. Now let's look at some acceptable business shots. Here's a good shot. If you have to hold something, hold a business portfolio or something to that has to do with what we do. Business portfolios are fine. If you're going to sit on a stool. The stool is fine. It doesn't take away from an overstuffed chair, or it doesn't take away from you. The focus is still on you. But you always wonder, what do I do with my hands? You know, that's a big deal. And so this is a very good shot as to what you do with your hands. Now, partners. When you do marketing, the object of marketing is to see you both equally. So what you need to do here is either be level or have one on top, one higher than the other, and usually the lady, if it's a husband-wife team, have the lady standing over the husband. And you have to be together because it's hard to get a shot in here. in your marketing material because these pictures are pretty small. Okay? Now, headshots. This is where most of us have our pictures done. What you see here are these three agents that are looking directly into the camera. Now, when you go to a professional photographer, no offense, Mike, is going to want to pose you in different ways. This is what you tell them. This is a business shot. I know what I need to do. You need to look, you just tell me how I look in the camera. But you need to look directly at the photographer, not off, not posed, but directly stand up straight and be yourself. That's what the main key is to be yourself. So, again, camera phones are out. Told you what to tell a photographer. The soft gray background works in most marketing material, and you'll see a lot of my marketing material has the soft gray backgrounds because that really makes it pop. I have a lot of pictures with a white background, which makes my hair just go into the background. So that's not good for me. Usually it's not good with most people. Light on the accessories, ladies. You don't need colored scarves. You don't need anything that takes away from your face. I always dressed my agents in black and white because I wanted the conservative look and I wanted the face to be the most important thing in the picture. And that's headshots. Any questions on headshots? Now we spend a great deal of time in this first hour on the image, which is what I want to do, because I'm going to show you in a minute what corporations do. Now, if you have a company website, if you're a broker and you have a company website, I can tell you firsthand that when one of my agents closed a deal, I would always call the seller or the buyer and ask them, you know, how was your deal? How was the transaction? How did everything go? And most importantly, I wanted to know, why did you pick that agent? It was important for me to know what worked in my marketing. So I wanted to know right from the source, how did you pick the agent? And this is my gallery. This was my actual gallery of my agents. This is just part of it. I had about 50. So in all of this, how did you happen to pick Aaron or Ann? How did you pick them? I liked the way they looked. That was the answer. Then from here, all of these were hot links where they went and read their bios. So websites are where 98% of the population goes to the website first before they hire a realtor. Did you know that? Read the National Association of Realtors website. So the professional image of your gallery, if you're a broker, for all your agents is very important. Make it complete. This is Raul. He's up in the Woodlands. He's a pretty neat guy. He has a great look. Okay? Now, if there's no questions on that, we're going to go into our business plan. This is what realtors have a hard time with, is how do I really stay focused? And you have to have a business plan to do that. Here it is, the first quarter. The first quarter's over. What did you do in the first quarter? Do you know what you're going to do for the rest of the year? Do you know what you're going to make this year? Did you put a plan together? Do you have an idea in your mind what you're going to make? So, our business comes two ways, from sales and from listings. That's it. Anybody know any other way? Sales and listing. That's where we get our business. So here's the action steps to those business. You need to set your goal. So your goal, let's just say, my goal has always been $100,000 a year. I want to make $100,000 a year. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. This is how. I know in my market was a memorial. I know the average price range in my market is about $350 to $450. Okay? That was my market. You know your market. You have to take your market and your goal and do what I'm doing right here. You may want me to send this to you when I'm finished. Okay, I know that in my market, to make my goal, I have to make $8,333 a month to reach my goal. If my average price range is $400,000, let's just say $400,000, I need to sell 2.155555 houses a month, right? But I'm not going to sell them every single month like clockwork. I might sell 3 in 1 month and I might sell none in 2 months, right? So over the course of a 12-month period, I need to make sure that I average that. So this is just a guide for you. First, have a goal. I know what my commission rate is. You know what your commission rate is. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever your commission rate is, your net dollars need to be divided up by 12 to see how many houses you have to sell in a month. If you don't know how many houses that you have to sell in a month, you don't have a goal. You don't know what to shoot for. Okay, so I need listings and I need sales. So I need listings, but I also need sales. So I can't just be a listing agent or a buyer's agent. Anybody in here just a buyer's agent? Say no. Okay, good. It immediately tells you the price range to focus on your marketing. So if you're in a lower price range, you're going to have to do more. Example. We've already talked about the example of the average price range. So your commission split determines how many houses that you need to sell. Now let me just send this slide to you so you can kind of take it in when you get out of here, because it's a lot to take in for the moment. But this is a guide. It's simple. So I go all around the country doing this class and for the last 3 years. And in every single one of my classes, there are high achievers that really, really make a lot of money. And I want to know from those high achievers what they do. And every single high achiever has the same makeup, if you will. And I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. But here's what they do in a nutshell. They discover what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. And they adjust here. So the strengths are, I'm focused. I know what I want to do. I'm really good with people. I know my inventory. If you are a realtor and you do not know your inventory, you're not going to make any money. I'm sorry. You have got to know your inventory in whatever market you're in. I co-op well, meaning I work with other agents. Even if you have to do the whole thing once in a while, we do. We have to do the whole transactions once in a while. Just do it. Close it. I usually win the listing. I'm really good at listing presentations. That's what I'm good at. I prepare and I'm good at doing that. I can convert. I've had agents who can get the deal, they can get the listing, they can do all the right stuff, but they could never close. It was such an amazing phenomenon to me that they couldn't close. This is really something to say. I can convert. And I'll tell you that in a minute what I'm talking about. And I can delegate. I know what I'm not good at. If I'm not good at something, I'm going to delegate it. Now, what are my weaknesses? I don't know how to market myself. That's an honest weakness. If you don't know how to market yourself, get somebody like my guy to do it. I don't do it. He does it for me because he's so good at it. I don't do listing packets well. Get some college student or high school student to do your listing packets for you. I don't like inputting listings into MLS. Well, who does? You know, So if you need an assistant to do that, I suggest you get one. If you don't put a good listing in, if you don't do your remarks well, you need to entice me to come see your listing. If you don't do your remarks well and you just say, great neighborhood, 3-bedroom, good schools, and you put that in your remarks, you're probably not going to get many realtors that are really excited about that. Come in and see in your listing. Do you get your broker to support you on contracts? Do you know contracts? You need to know contracts. Every single thing you need to know is in that contract. I would have agents come up to me and have a problem. It's in the contract. The solving of that problem is in the contract, whether it's a listing contract or a contract. I don't get anything out of sales meetings, so I don't go. Sales meetings are incredibly important for the camaraderie, number one, knowing what's going on in the office about listings, not so much gossip, but listings, who's got what, listen to them, and just the update on law and sales and contracts. So there's a lot going on in sales meetings. Go. So high achievers use their strengths and they spend time on what they're good at. It's called time management. That's time management. ROI. Are you familiar with ROI? It's a return on investment. It is what we work for, a return on investment. So if you send a marketing material out, if I send anything right here out, I want that back. And I want it back probably 3 times what I paid for it. That's your attitude. That's what it should be. So if I send, I'm going to show you what I'm going to send out next week, and about 60,000 of them are going out. I'm going to show you what will make the phone ring without question. Hang in there with me. This is called target marketing. Whatever you send out will not work unless you target your market. And I'm going to give you some examples of corporations. What do corporations do that you should do? You need to do everything a corporation does, and I'll show you why. This is a board table. I've been to many of these. What do they talk about when they get around these board meeting things? The same thing you'd talk around the kitchen table with. Let me show you. The same questions before you ever spend a dime. You need to ask these things. Who's my target market? Who am I going to mail this stuff to? Does it really matter? I'm just going to go to the tax rolls, put it together, give it to the data guy, and let him send it out. Where is it? Where's my target market? So if you're in the Woodlands, Champions, Memorial, the Loop, wherever you are, that's your target market. That should be, you are not everything to all people, guys. You can't market to everybody. So pick a target and be good at it. What marketing will ensure that I get my money back, my ROI? I'm going to show you. I will show you exactly what you get your money back from. So before you answer these questions, let's learn a little bit about the corporation's way of thinking. The first thing they do is they create an image, just like what I went through in the first 30 minutes of this class. They create their image. Tell me who this is. Budweiser, king of beers. And a woman knew that. That's good. But who is Budweiser's main target? Men. Men. I have ladies going, well, I drink beer too. Well, that's fine, but you are not their main target. It's men. Now, what major event does Budweiser sponsor every single year?
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Do you think they get their money back? Do you think that's a good ROI for them? Obviously. Do you know how many companies were a spin-off from their first commercial in the Super Bowls? Like you've got e-commerce, you've got GoDaddy. All of these started from the Super Bowl. So obviously it works. Who does this logo belong to? Of course, we all know we had breakfast there this morning, or at least coffee. McDonald's. Loving it. That's really a new tagline for them, relatively speaking. They haven't had it all that long. Quick. Do you know this one? Outback. Good deal. 99% of people in my classes never get this one. And why is that? I'll tell you why this is because Outback Steakhouse only markets you when a holiday comes along, like Mother's Day or Father's Day. You have seen some Outback commercials come on here lately because of Mother's Day, and you will see some come in for Father's Day. That's when they market you. They're not like Budweiser and McDonald's because, by the way, who's McDonald's target? Children. So Outback will only do this on certain holidays. Watch. Otherwise, you don't remember them. Who's this? Okay, Coca-Cola. This is a universal product, right? But they do something. Oh, everybody drinks Coke, right? We all know who that is. But there's one thing that they sponsor every 4 years. What is it? The Olympics. The Olympics. Isn't that perfect for Coke? Because they're a universal product. The Olympics is a universal event. This is a perfect target for them. Do you get it? You have to have a target. You have to have a farm area. I'm a big farmer. Not literally, but I am in marketing. All of these companies do spend millions and millions of dollars. You knew who Budweiser, you knew who Coke was, you know who McDonald's was. Why did I even bring it up? You knew who they were. And you knew their branding. You knew their product. You knew if you trusted it or not. You knew who they targeted. Coke targets everybody. Budweiser targets men. McDonald's targets children. McDonald's has something, though, that is very unique and makes them very much stand out. Do we need to turn the air on a little bit? They have something else. What is it for children? The playground, but they have something?
Toys.
Oh, kids. The kids' meals. Toys in the box.
You're all on the same page, but they have one thing, the hospital. The Ronald McDonald House. Who is the mascot for Budweiser? The Clydesdales, correct. Who is the mascot for McDonald's? Ronald, of course. It's the Ronald McDonald House. Isn't that perfect for them that they established a hospital for children? So these companies keep spending millions of dollars because they're consistently marketing you. Now, they know it works because, like Outback, if you stop marketing you, you will be out of sight, out of mind. The same works in your farm area. That's where we are today because you've been so busy that you have let the farm area go, the marketing go, and now all of a sudden you're out of inventory, you have no buyers, and you have to start over again. This is what we want to avoid. So, how's your return working for you? That's where we want to study today. So there's 5 areas where we make our money in real estate. 5. And we're going to break it down real quick. Know your market. I cannot stress this enough. High achievers, the number one reason why they are successful is because they know the inventory. When I was a brand new realtor in the business, I would always be in awe of these older realtors who knew every single house. They knew what it looked like inside. They knew how many bedrooms it had. I was in awe. I couldn't believe somebody could have that kind of a memory. That was because they were successful and they had to know. If that house came on the market again, they knew it. How do you do that? So your different verticals in our industry are important for you to keep in mind. Because again, you're not everything to all people. So be good at something. Now, do you sell townhouses? Do you like waterfront? It's different, isn't it? It's not the same. Single family residences is what most of us sell. My husband does farm and ranch. I know nothing about farm and ranch. I will attest to you. I market him, but if I had to go out and tell you how many grasses were on this and what a cow lease is or whatever, I couldn't do it. So I don't. That's something that you need to send a referral to. Now, farming. 5 ways we make our money. It's real easy. You have to farm. This is one way. You get 1/4 of your income from farming. It's called planting seeds. All of these are seeds. I'm going to pass some seeds out in a minute. Lead calls. Here it is where you have to know the inventory. I have agents who I would be passing by the prime desk. We call it the prime desk. You may call it lead time. You may call it phone time. I would overhear the agent go, oh, it's a 4-bedroom house. It's got a pool. Oh, and it's got a 2-car garage. And, oh, you don't want a pool? Oh, okay. Well, thank you for calling. I would go into orbit. If they don't want a pool, do you think you can find them something that doesn't have a pool? Do you think there's another property out there? The best, so I knew I needed to take that agent and I needed to train her differently. I need to explain to her how to convert that caller into a paycheck. How do you do that? Well, I would take that caller and I said, you know what? This gets them every time. The caller is on the line. They're kind of disappointed that that doesn't have what they want. Are they ever going to buy what they call in on, by the way? Are they ever going to buy that house? Maybe once in a while.
But it's growing.
Because the inventory is so rare right now. They'll buy anything. But let's just talk about a normal market. Okay, because we're going to be getting into a normal market pretty soon. So we have a normal market going on. Caller comes in. Same goes with open houses. Will they buy the house that they walked in on usually? Probably not. Chances are they want to know what else you got out there, and you need to know. You will not make a paycheck if you don't know what else is on there. So the caller calls and say, you know, I just had a house come on, my company just had a house come on the market yesterday. And you read it too, because you know it off the top of your head. Now you have the caller's interest. You've got their attention. Now, when you make an appointment with that buyer, are you only going to show them one house? No. You're going to show them like at least 4. I always show 4 houses. After I get through showing them 4 houses, I promise you I know exactly where to take them. Because when you show them houses, they never tell you really what they want, right? That first meeting, they'll tell you I want a 4-bedroom and they end up with a 6. You know, it's usually all different. So make sure that you're good on the phone, and to be good on the phone, you have to know your inventory. The same goes with open houses. That's the second way we make our money. That's another 1/4 of your income. I made more money on open houses than anything else I did because I was good at converting. I knew my inventory. And I knew they weren't going to buy the house that they walked in on. Your social sphere. I was not good at social sphere because I don't like social stuff. You know, that's bad, but you got to get good at it. You got to take your business card with you when you go on parties and things like that. Now, let me tell you what we did do, though, that was very successful. And that is when I had a partner and we, in the winter, we would collect blankets. We would send out a piece saying, if you will put blankets on your porch, my partner and I, we will come by and pick them up and take them to the homeless shelters. And they loved that. Our neighborhoods loved that. So we found that so successful that in the spring, it was in November when Thanksgiving was, we asked them to put a bag of groceries on their porch. And we would come up and pick that up and take it to the food bank, because the food bank is always low on food in Christmas and November. People were not. They were so giving, and we didn't bother them, but they knew our name because they had to deal with us, right? Do something in the summer on 4th of July. In August, do the neighborhood night out. Neighborhood night out is a great thing for you to host. These are social events that you need to think about. Now I'm going to talk about expireds, and I'm going to give you something that works. This is my expired card, and I took this directly out of the HAR magazine, and I'll tell you why. Just take one of each and pass it on. Let me have one. Let me have one of this. Okay. The expireds. You know how many expireds there are every single day? Does anybody know how to look up expireds in the HAR? Yes? You know where it is on the hot sheet? Everybody say yes. Okay. 6 reasons why the house did not sell was an article that came out in the HAR magazine about 10 years ago. I cut it out and I made a card out of it. It is the best thing that ever happened to me because it was perfect. But I want everybody in this room to tell me why the house didn't sell.
Price too high.
Price too high. Thank you very much. There is no other reason that a house does not sell. Okay? That is the price. When it is backing up to the railroad track or a dump or what, I don't care what the deal is. When you price it right, it will sell finally. So, but we can't say that to an expired seller who's already ticked off, right? He's already angry that his house hasn't sold because it's the realtor's fault. So there are 6 reasons why the house didn't sell on this card that I am going to send them. Every single day I send an expired card out to every expired in HAR. You know how many that is? A lot. Now, if it's a really good listing, I will send them a little brochure. And the brochure says everything about my company that I do that perhaps the other realtor did not do. You have to sell yourself. I don't send this to every single one, but I do send a card out every time. And you're welcome to copy it. Now, will I get all of the expired, will I get a phone call? Yes. I will get a phone call because sometimes they relist it. I'll make sure it's not relisted before I send the card out, by the way. That's real easy to do. Where do I get the address of the person? The tax rolls. The tax rolls. So think about doing this. This is great business. This was about 1/4 of my income. So I'm up to 3. I'm up to 3/4 in my income now. If I got the call, fine. If I didn't, that's fine too. But this seller is always ready to listen to you once you get in there. They're ready to come down on the price. I am going to stop right here. Before we get into farming, I'm going to tell you how easy it is to farm, and I'm going to break these different categories down for you. But we're going to take about a 15-minute break right now and come back in at 2:15, please. Thank you.
question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a client that I have a listing, and he has no money for moving. He have a dog, like a horse.